Hello, everyone, and welcome to another CineQuest Reviews. Today, we're going to be talking about A Quiet Place, Day 1. A Quiet Place Day 1 follows Sam, played by Lupita Nyong'o, who travels with a group into New York City during an alien invasion. Now, A Quiet Place Day 1 is directed by Michael Sarnowski. He did one of my favorite movies. I think it was a 2022. 21, 20. It was Pig with Nicolas Cage. That movie was a surprise and a welcome surprise. First of all, because I was expecting Taken, Pig style. If you haven't seen Pig, check it out. It is really amazing. I'm not a huge fan of the Quiet Place franchise. I have seen the other two films, but they're not ones that I would say top one of my horror movies. A top 10, top 20. It's not even in the top 20, top 30. But I think they are still pretty good. So whenever the trailer for this movie came out, I wasn't as excited to watch this third installment, this prequel to this trilogy, as I was others that were coming out this year. But it just so happened that I had some time, and it was the only thing showing in the theater, so I felt, why not check it out? So it was kind of interesting when I heard that the director of Pig was directing A Quiet Place Day 1, because as far as I can remember, John Krasinski was the one that directed the other two. So him letting another director kind of put in their vision for this franchise was interesting. And I was kind of curious how it was going to play out. And as we know, by the trailer alone, we can tell that it takes place in New York City. There's daily life going on. And we're following this woman. She's walking around with her cat, and an alien invasion starts. I know in part 2 they showed a bit of that day 1 invasion, and I'm pretty sure that was kind of like the catalyst to bringing this about, because it seemed very interesting. We want to know what happened, where are these aliens coming from, all that kind of stuff. But that's not what we get in this movie. And I'm kind of glad that we didn't focus primarily on the aliens and it being some sort of an action-packed film, because there are moments, it is when the alien invasion does happen, it's chaotic, it's everything you would assume that an alien invasion would be. And if you saw the trailer, you pretty much know and can guess how things play out, and it just kind of goes on like that for a while now. But we don't focus on that. We focus on the characters, the character of Sam. We also have Joseph Quinn and Alex Wolff, who come out as well. And I feel like since they focus in on the characters and what's happening around them, we don't get like the typical alien invasion type of film. I love alien movies. I love alien invasion movies. But even though this takes like a different perspective on that, I prefer it as to opposed to the same old. We have aliens. We have the military coming in, doing their thing. And it's just a big action movie. And again, we don't get that in this one. We've kind of followed the characters primarily. And that is kind of what we got in Pig. So we're just following this one character, this one main focus, and it kind of hammers in that you either relate to this character or you don't in this particular chaos that's going on around her. The acting is great in this movie. I think Joseph Quinn, he was one of the guys in Stranger Things. I forget who he plays, but it's the guy with the long hair and the guitar, that whole famous scene. You know who he is. Anyways, Lupita Nyong'o, I hope I'm saying her name right. She came out, or at least that I remember her from Jordan Peele's Us, a movie I didn't care for too much, but I've been wanting to revisit it because I feel like maybe a second watch might help me appreciate the movie a little bit more. Because, I did enjoy it kind of when I saw it the first time, but like the ending just kind of just threw me off completely. But anyways, just reiterating some of the pros of this movie, I felt like the acting was done really well. I think it's shot really well. Again, we don't get much of the aspect of the alien invasion. We do see it. We just don't see it on a broader scale. We kind of see it in a very small, localized type of way, We don't know what's going on in the rest of the world. You can only assume the aliens themselves are fairly, I guess they do have that scare factor, because if you come into contact with them, there's almost like no way you're going to survive. We do find out, like in the first installment, how to kill them. But I mean, obviously, it took all this time to kind of figure those things out because I mean, there were so many of them whenever they invade that it's almost like so quick, like they just taking people out left and right, and that is that's showing the weight of the weight and severity of what's going on around them. But with Sam and her character, we're just following her because at this point she's at a point in her life where she is kind of just wanting to, I guess, go back to the simplicity of home, even though she knows like it's almost like the end, and she doesn't have hope, but I feel like there's hope in the hopelessness, if that makes any sense. I think the star of this movie is probably the cat that she's carrying around with her at all times. I was relieved, obviously. I don't want to see anything happen to the animal. And even through all the chaos that's going on, like all these like buildings being torn apart and just explosions, all this chaos is going on, the cat still finds a way back to her. And that's always a relief whenever I saw it on screen, you know, like it kind of made you feel good about it and kind of put me, the audience, at a relief every time the cat showed back up or they showed that the cat was safe. As far as the cons in this movie, I didn't have very many. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the focusing in on the characters, these two characters, as they're walking through New York City to get that slice of pizza. And I mean, metaphorically, it's much bigger than that, but that's kind of like the focus for Sam's characters to, even though all this chaos is happening, she wants that slice of pizza. I thought there was enough aliens on screen to kind of like satisfy that aspect of it. And there was enough of the story and character building and relating to the characters to kind of satisfy me as well. Now, I'm not sure that this is going to be the last installment. So to make this movie like a whole trilogy, I mean, if this movie does well enough as is, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to make another one. Who knows how far they'll go with that? Or are they going to stay in the prequel realm? Or are they going to jump further ahead in time? I mean, who knows? Or they're just focusing on some other characters. I feel when I was watching this, I mean, I couldn't help but make the comparisons regarding the aliens, just the characters. Obviously, they're sensitive to sound, and if you make noise, they will pretty much go after you. All I could think was of Tremors. That's all I could think of whenever I'm watching the Quiet Place movies. This is more of a highbrow Tremors, considering that this also has kind of a Walking Dead vibe too, because the aliens themselves are just kind of in the background, and in Walking Dead, the zombies are in the background. You're focused more on the characters, and I can see kind of like those two elements working together to make this one, because I mean, I don't see this franchise as a completely original idea, but the way it's executed, I think, is fairly original. A Quiet Place Day One. What did you think of this installment of the trilogy? I'll do a quick ranking of these movies. I would say probably part one, then I would say Day One, and then part two. Those are kind of like how I would rank these movies. I still like the first one better. This one, I do like a little bit more than the second one. But hey, tell me what you thought in the comments. How do you rank these movies? Did you see this? Would you like to go watch this? I mean, go check it out in the theater. It's probably the best way to watch it if it's still in theaters when this comes out. So again, I appreciate you watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Anyone who watches or anyone who comments, thank you again. And we'll see you next time.